What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And in today's video, I am here at Islands of Adventure because what I'm going to be doing today is similar to what I did yesterday over at Universal Studios Florida. And I'm going to be ranking and riding my top 5 favorite rides in this park. Like I said, I did the same thing yesterday over at Universal Studios Florida, but now I'm doing it here at Islands of Adventure. I'm gonna be ranking and riding my top 5 favorite rides. So before we go into the park, I just want to say that this list was really hard to do because I could only pick 5 rides, and not including one of the rides in this list was really hard, but this is my top 5, not my top 6. So I'm going to show you the top 5 rides, but I'm going to start by showing you the ride that I did not include on this list and why I didn't include it. And lastly, I do want to remind you of some of the things that's going to happen in this video. One, I will not be recording on the rides because, like I said, when I was at Universal Studios Florida, I don't want to ruin the experience for anyone else around me. I just want to actually enjoy the ride. However, I will record anything that I can in the queue before going into a metal detector. And of course, I will give you my thoughts before and after, like how I feel before going on the ride and how I feel after it. But nonetheless, this is basically going to be a review and ranking of my top 5 favorite attractions here at Islands of Adventure. So with all that being said, let's enter the park. Well, the line's not too long to get in. I am going to still take advantage of this annual pass holder line. Alrighty, I've made it inside of Islands of Adventure. Now I have to walk over to the attraction that is number 6 and explain to you why it's not number 5. Alright, so now I'm here in the Jurassic Park area. I wanted to tell you what would have been number 5 had I not chosen number 5 over it. And that ride is obviously Jurassic Park River Adventure. Not including this ride on the list was very, very hard, and let me explain. Okay, so I did want to sit for a second and talk about why I did not include Jurassic Park River Adventure on my top 5. I love this ride. Honestly, one of the best rides here at Universal. But the reason why it didn't make the list was because when I was comparing this ride to ride number 5, I felt like ride number 5 had more originality to it in terms of the ride system. I remember riding this for the first time, and I remember riding that ride for the first time as an adult because I did ride River Adventure as a kid. But when I compared the two as an adult, my first experience, I remember being like, wow, ride number 5 is just so impressive compared to River Adventure. Like I said, River Adventure is so, so good and it's such a fun attraction. However, it's just when you compare the two, honestly, if someone said this is better than what I put at my number 5, I wouldn't argue with them. However, I do believe that my number 5 does have a little bit of an edge comparing the two. So yeah, that's why I didn't make my number 5. However, let's go to my number 5. I'm gonna explain why I think that ride is a little bit better than this ride. Alrighty, in order to get to my number 5 ride, I do have to leave Jurassic Park and head into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade. And ride number 5 is So yes, ride number 5 is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Obviously, some of y'all might be very upset that this is over Jurassic Park River Adventure, but let me explain. One, I think this ride is incredible, from the queue to the actual ride to the exterior of the ride. Everything about this ride is amazing. Look at that. They have Hogwarts Castle here, and that's where the ride is. It is so incredible. Also, the biggest thing for me is that this ride is so original. There is no ride like this in the entire world, for at least for what I know. There probably is something out there that's similar to this. However, I have never seen a ride like this before. I have never ridden an attraction like this where it's like basically a claw machine that goes through practical sets and screens. It mixes the best of both worlds. Honestly, this ride is so incredible. If you don't know, or you've never ridden this ride is basically just a Harry Potter attraction that is essentially screen dark ride where it has screens, it has practical effects. You do go upside down, but it's not like a roller coaster. It's not really fast. It does like do this kind of motion, but it's not a roller coaster. It's a thrill attraction in the sense of like, it just makes you move in unique situations. So with that being said, let's go inside and ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Like I said, for this ride, you do go upside down, so you do have to put your stuff in a locker. So let's go do that. All right, I got the top one. Thank God, I'm a tall guy, so I need the tall ones. I don't like when I get one of the bottom ones. Alrighty, so the ride only has a 10-minute wait, so I'm just gonna hop in line for that. I'm not gonna get in the single rider. It'll be easier, so I can show y'all the actual view. But just look at the exterior of this. That is Hogwarts Castle. It's incredible. Like, the level of detail is insane. See, this is where I normally return for single riders, but 10-minute wait, I'm not gonna pass that up. Plus, I want to see the queue. See, this is the stuff that you can see in the queue. You can see the mirror from Sorcerer's Stone. You can see the statue. I have no idea who that is. You have the doorway to the potions classroom right here. Snape worked in there. Then you come out here to the herbology classroom garden area. I remember when I first rode this ride, the line was so long, it was like all the way out here. I'm not sure if they have used these lines recently, but yeah, when I first rode this ride, it was like around the time where it first opened. This whole area was like so packed. But as you can see the plants hanging above. Such a cool queue, and we're not even like halfway done with it yet. There you got the, I forgot what they're called, but the plants you pull up and they start screaming. If this line had people in it, those would probably be making noise, but since no one's here, they probably turned them off. Then you have a statue of Merlin with like a little mini Hogwarts. Then over here you have the house point system. Currently, Gryffindor is in the lead. Go Gryffindor. Another statue of someone I don't know. And then you have the doorway to Dumbledore's office, or the headmaster's office. Something that's really cool about this is that you actually have moving pictures in the hallways, which is really cool. Then you enter the big room with the founders of Hogwarts. That's Salazar Slytherin. That's Helena Hufflepuff.
Dumbledore, unlike you, Salazar, sees the beauty in all people, whether or not they possess magic.
There's Godric Gryffindor.
Besides,
now we are in Dumbledore's office. There's his pensive. So cool. And there's the man himself right there. Dumbledore. What's up, my man? That's his office.
I am most certain you'll find it long.
So cool. So cool. Now we are in the Defense Against the Dark Arts room. Ron, Hermione, and Harry.
Not that the subject isn't fascinating.
So cool.
Personally, I
Look at
don't feel the battle's Hogwarts history.
Feels like you're actually in the movie. It's incredible.
For your information, it happens to be, by general consensus, the definitive volume
Defense
of
Against the Dark
Hogwarts.
Arts teacher's office.
As is Professor Ben's
So
very
cool.
well.
Of course, we'll need a bit of magic. A charm I learned from a world-class Quidditch player.
Hermione's famous for her charms.
Yes.
Meet Hermione in the room of requirement.
Please.
So cool. And now we are in the Gryffindor common room, at least I believe it is. I haven't really 100% confirmed what room this is, but it looks like the Gryffindor common room. So I feel bad for people who aren't Gryffindors because you don't get to see your house. I am a Gryffindor, so this is my house. And then before you get on the ride, you are greeted with the servant. I don't know what he's saying. All right, and the loading platform is in the room of requirement. I will see y'all at the end. And also, look, floating candles. So much detail. I love it.
Hermione did it! They're flying! Keep up, Ron! We're on our way! We'll meet you outside! Sorry about that! Those faces can be a bit dodgy! But we haven't lost anyone yet! Not this week, anyway!
Hey, you lot!
You haven't seen a dragon, have you?
Hurry on to the village pit. And watch out for the walking willow.
Showing off your mother and Myron.
Alrighty, so Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, such a fun ride. What I will say about it, both this and River Adventure both desperately need a refurbishment. I know River Adventure is closing down next year for 11 months for refurbishment. I don't think Forbidden Journey should do it at the same time, but afterwards, this needs a refurbishment. I actually got stuck on the ride, like me and my group got stuck. I guess the entire ride got stuck, where we were in one scene for about like 3 to 4 extra minutes. Something must have happened. But it just shows that this ride, even though it's still one of the newer attractions here, it is getting up there in age and needs a refurbishment. I think if rides need a refurbishment like every, I don't want to say 5 years, or maybe like 7 years, the 7 to 10 years range, rides need like a complete refurbishment, newer technology, newer animatronics, maybe redo the scenes a little bit, whatever you can to upgrade this attraction. But nonetheless, that ride was so much fun, and that is my number 5. Alrighty, so now we did ride number 5. Now it's time for ride number 4, and that is the Incredible Hulk coaster. Yes, I am here in Marvel Superhero Island for my number 4 ride, the Incredible Hulk coaster. This coaster was the first intense coaster I rode at Universal. If you don't count Hagrid's, if you count like the really intense ones, this is the one that I started with. This ride is great. I can't ride it too many times in a row because I was like getting dizzy, but nonetheless, this ride is so much fun. I won't be able to take my cameras in because you do have to go through metal detectors, so I have to put everything in the locker. However, I will put footage in of the queue and of the ride. Not much to say about this ride other than it's freaking awesome. Like, look at that. One of the coolest like entrance to a queue ever. Like the statue of the Hulk, awesome. So many loopy-loops, so fast. The soundtrack is great. Honestly, this ride is amazing. So let's go on it. One thing I have to do is put on my glasses strap. This ride is nuts. Oh man, I got one of the low ones. Not good. Ugh. All right, see you at the end. was so much fun. Definitely a one and done for the day because it is just so hot, and going on a ride like that, that's very intense. Whew. But it's so much fun. And if you love roller coasters, you're gonna love this one. It's one of the like OG thrilling roller coasters here at Islands of Adventure or at Universal period. And it's incredible. It's a fun time. Love the story. I love the music, the track, everything about it is so good. All right, before I get on ride number 3, I had to get myself a water bottle. I think part of the reason why I got a little like discombobulated on that one was because I was a little dehydrated. So got this to help me be rehydrated. All right, so ride number 3 now, which is in the same land as the Hulk, and that ride is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. All right, I want to talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man is very similar to Transformers over at Universal Studios Florida. It is a dark ride that takes you through like a story with Spider-Man. This ride brings back so much nostalgia. When I first came here when I was like 11 years old, this was like one of the few rides that I actually rode. I was still scared, but this ride is just so much fun. I love Spider-Man. He's one of my all-time favorite superheroes. So the fact that they have a Spider-Man ride here is incredible. It's a 3D attraction, but it's so much more than that. It's screens, there's practical sets. This ride is awesome. I can actually film in the queue, but I won't be filming on the ride. So let's go ahead and get in line for the Adventures of Spider-Man. Alrighty, so one thing about this ride is that it has one of the coolest queues, which I will be showing you. And also, speaking of the queue, this is going to be the longest wait I'm gonna have to wait today, probably 35 minutes. Doesn't look like Single Riders is open, so gonna have to hop in here real quick. 35 minutes. What's really cool about this queue is that even the outdoor portion is themed. It's like a little comic book version of New York. Alright, and now we're in the front lobby of the Daily Bugle. With the man himself, J. Jonah Jameson. This room always brings back nostalgia because I remember first seeing this room, just being completely amazed by the level of detail. Here's a clip of me when I was younger in this room. As you can see, I was terrified still of this ride because I was really scared of everything as a kid. It took me a while to get over my fear of attractions and rides and thrill rides, even the small thrills. Now this room, I was always kind of confused with what this room was. Now, but I'm like pretty sure this is supposed to be like a conference room, like a news conference room. If not, I have no idea what it is. Pick up my 3D glasses now. The only 3D ride I have to do today. Alright, our vehicle is here. We'll see y'all at the end.
Is this thing on? Listen, Scoop. Crime reports are coming in from all over the city, and I'm starting to get worried. Did you see that? The spider signal! With Spider-Man nearby, trouble can't be far away. And you know what trouble means. Headline!
Man, you shouldn't be out here. With Doc Ock on the loose, this could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours.
And leotard.
Everything's going as planned. If you think you're getting out of here, you're in for it.
just get back to the bugle and...
Time to throw you off the street. You don't. No!
All right, what an incredible ride. Had so much fun on it, as I always do. Such nostalgia for me, just because I always think of my childhood when I think of this ride. So fun. Honestly, just never get rid of it. I always thought about maybe like one day if like Universal sold the rights back to Disney for like the Marvel theme park, you know, comic stuff, what would they replace this with? And I have no idea. It would have to be whatever they wanted to buy with it, but nonetheless, Spider-Man at Universal's cool. I love it, such a great attraction. That is my number 3. Now let's head to my number 2. And for my number 2, we have to head all the way back to Hogsmeade. And that ride is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. This and my number 1 ride are so interchangeable. Honestly, I could go and say the other one is my number 2 and this is my number 1 because they're both just as good as each other. However, you have to make a list. I would say this is number 2. And the reason why I would say it's number 2, I will actually explain after the ride. But this is my number 2 ride. This ride is so fun. It is one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on. It is so well themed. It is so like unique. It's different. It's a very long attraction, which is great. It's fast, it's thrilling, it has all the best parts of a roller coaster in it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and head in line. The line is currently 120 minutes. However, there is something I've been holding on to that I now get to use, and that is this, a one-time use Universal Express Pass that can be used on any rides at either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Florida. A couple months ago, I was on a ride, the ride went down. They had to evacuate the entire ride and the line, so I got one of these. So now I'm gonna be using it here at Hagrid's and skipping the 120-minute wait. It doesn't mean the wait's gonna be 0. It just means the wait's gonna be like, I don't know, less than 120 minutes, probably like in the 20-minute range, 30-minute range at most. So let's go use this and head into Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. But first, I have to put my stuff in the locker. Also, by using Express, I will be skipping most of the line, so I'll put in some clips of the queue. This has a cool queue, but it's not one of my favorites, but it's still really good in terms of comparison to most rides.
I've got a very special Care of Magical Creatures class for you today. And Mr. Weasley, who many of you will remember, has kindly agreed to help with getting you around.
Wingardium Leviosa! Hagrid's asked me to duplicate Sirius Black's motorbike to take you all to the edge of the forest.
Yes, and that's where I shall be showing you some blast-ended screws. Before they all kill.
Express line is pretty backed up, but not too bad. Still like gonna be like a 20-minute wait compared to a 2-hour wait.
So useful they are.
got off of Hagrid's. Incredible. Love that ride. I actually got the front row on the motorbike. So that was really cool. I haven't done that in years. Really had fun with that. I just had a great time. Felt like I was actually the one like leading the pack, and it was just great. Now, as I'm walking out of Hogsmeade, I want to talk about why Hagrid's is not number one. And it's pretty simple. It's because of the ride vehicle. Now you may be saying, there's nothing wrong with the vehicle. And you're right, it's a perfect representation of Hagrid's motorbike from the movie, where one person is on the motorcycle and where one person's on the sidecar. However, if you ask most people who ride this ride, they would say that they prefer the motorbike. They prefer being in the seat that Hagrid sits in. There's nothing wrong with the sidecar really, but you know, when you compare the two, you'd rather sit on the motorcycle portion of it. So, in my opinion, the reason why it's not number one is because not everyone has the same experience. And for me with rides, I really dislike when multiple people go on a ride but they have different experience. For example, at Disney World, at Hollywood Studios, when you ride the Millennium Falcon ride, only 2 people get to be the pilots, and then the other 4 are either gunners or engineers, and obviously everybody wants to be a pilot. So in terms of Hagrid's, you know, at least most people want to be on the motorbike, but you know, sometimes you'll get the sidecar. And now obviously, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I would prefer them to just have 2 motorbikes. So just have them side by side. And I know people would probably disagree with that because, you know, it's not accurate to the movies. But in all honesty, I don't see a problem with that. You know, it's the same thing like at Tron at Disney World. They have the bikes next to each other, and in theory, you wouldn't be riding that close the entire time next to a teammate in a Tron Light Cycle run. But, you know, for this, I can see why people wouldn't want that, but for me, I would just prefer everyone get a motorbike. I know, it's weird, it's a weird request and a weird dislike that doesn't make it number one. But if the ride that is number one wasn't so amazing, then obviously Hagrid's would be number one. So because of that one thing, and when I was comparing Hagrid's with the ride that is number one, I just had to break it down to that. That was the only thing that made it a little bit, tiny bit less fun than what number one is. And you probably guessed it, what number one is, but let's head over there and ride number one, which is... All right, and that ride is obviously 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. This is the best ride in the entire Universal Orlando Resort. It is so much fun, so thrilling.
What? Got him! Got him!
And obviously, I'm just kidding. I'm doing the same joke that I did over in my Universal Studios Florida video where I said Fast and Furious was the best. The only difference is I actually don't hate this ride. Compared to Fast and Furious, this ride is better by a mile. Fast and Furious sucks. I know, Fast and Furious is catching strays even in a video about the park that Fast and Furious isn't in. Shows you how much I dislike that ride. I do like the movies though, but I really dislike that ride. But in all seriousness now, let's head over to the real number one ride here at Islands of Adventure. You know what it is, and that is... Obviously, the ride is the Velocicoaster. This ride is incredible. It is the best roller coaster I've ever been on. It's such a unique coaster, so fast, so thrilling. This was the ride that really solidified my love of roller coasters. It is so much fun. Honestly, like, if there's a coaster that you can only ride ever for the rest of your life, it has to be Velocicoaster. It has the experience of every roller coaster all combined into one. The only thing it doesn't have is a loop-de-loop, but it has so much fun twists and turns, barrel rolls, launches. It is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend it if you can only ride one. If you can only ride one ride here at Universal, ride this one. It is so good. It's just incredible. Also, the queue is amazing. The ride vehicle is amazing. Everything about this ride is just spectacular. All right, I'm about to go on. The line is a 45-minute wait, so now this will be the longest line that I'll be waiting in. Single riders is at capacity, so might as well just hop in the regular line. At least I can show you the queue this way. 45 minutes. Honestly, that wait in the single rider line is probably just as long, so I might as well just wait here. Plus, I can soak up the AC. I love that this line is basically indoors.
That means we can't retrieve any lost items. Remember that number, symbol, or color.
Jurassic World, we dared to imagine a world with dinosaurs. But we know you want more. More speed.
I'll take it from here. Let's get you ready to enter the paddock with real live raptors.
Formulate a complex game plan. Optimal pairs.
I need to be ready.
So I just got off Velocicoaster, and of course, once I get off, it's a 25-minute wait now, and the single rider line is open. But nonetheless, I got to ride the ride, and that ride was so incredible. I actually got the back row. So funny that I got back row on my number one, and my number two, I got front row. Amazing experience. That ride is so smooth. It's so thrilling. It's the most thrilling ride at any of the parks, but nonetheless, it's so fun, and that's my number one. So that is my top 5. Now I'm hungry. Before I end the video, I'm gonna go get some lunch. All right, where I decided to get lunch today is here at Pizza Predatoria. I put an online order in. Let me just submit it that I'm here so I can pick it up. All right, I got my food. I got the pepperoni pizza combo. I also came out here to the Burger Digs patio because I got a great view of Velocicoaster and people going up on the big top hat or hill, whatever you want to call it. I think it's called Top Hat, like the tallest part of a roller coaster. So yeah, the pizza combo comes with a Caesar salad. Obviously, you got the pizza. Let's try this out. All right, let's see how I like this. I'm gonna try the salad first. And then, of course, the poorly cut pizza. Definitely not the worst, definitely not the best theme park pizza, but definitely not the worst. I personally enjoy these like personal pizzas. The line for Velocicoaster just grew exponentially. Like that room right there, when I got on, was full, and then when I got off, it was empty. Now it's full again. I saw it get full in a matter of like 2 minutes. That's crazy. That's how quickly a line can go from 25 minutes to 45 minutes, just like that. Alrighty, y'all, so that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm here with my friend, Bill.
Huh?
And yeah, that's it. That's my top 5 favorite rides here at Islands of Adventure. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you liked my list, let me know. If you didn't like my list, please let me know. And let me know what your top 5 favorite are. So yeah, just let me know what your top 5 favorite rides here at Islands of Adventure are. I'm very curious to see what other people think. But I think this list is kind of popular amongst people. Like, that's the top 5. But let me know if not. I mean, is there a ride that I might have missed? You let me know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Just make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.